Good evening and welcome back to Capitol Tonight, a statewide look at politics. I'm Tim Boyd. It's August recess for Congress. Members are back in their home districts. North Carolina's delegation, no different. This week we'll be talking with a number of them about the issues facing our nation. Joining us tonight from our Charlotte newsroom is Republican Robert Pittenger from the 9th District. Sir, always good to have you on the program. Welcome back. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Tim. Great to be with you.
All right. Obviously, one of the headlines that's been coming out is these 62,000 minors that have crossed the border from Central America, the United States trying to figure out how to handle this. The House, we saw, passed that bill late last week, and the President has given his suggestions. Now you guys are on recess. I mean, where are we headed with this, do you think?
Well, the unfortunate crisis that we have is evolved because of the President's policies. He's created a policy that is essentially told the people in Central America that they can send these young children up there unaccompanied and that they can find residence and be able to be in the United States. It's an interpretation of a law and of the 2008 law and as well as what the President decreed 2 years ago in allowing these unaccompanied to reside here.
So if it is a crisis like everyone's talking about, I mean, why are we going home for a month? And I don't mean you, but why are we going home for a month to get something done? I mean, I understand there's a huge divide between Republicans and Congress and this President, but I mean, how does this get resolved?
Well, the American people want the border secured. And after the border is secured, and we have funded that in this bill, as well as we want to take humanitarian care of these children. And then we need to provide the judicial access in a timely way for them to be processed and then transported back to their countries. This is good, prudent, logical way to handle this crisis. Otherwise, we're going to open this up to where there'll be tens of thousands and ultimately even millions more who will come in the country as a result of this open-door policy that the President's created. We passed the legislation. We did what the American people want us to do. The Senate had left a day earlier. We would welcome going back. We will spend the entire month. If Harry Reid will come in and address this bill, I promise you every member of Congress will come back and we'll see that it's passed in both houses, but we've done it in the House of Representatives.
You guys added that DACA program, I think, to the bill. Why not just handle this crisis separately and then work on a larger bill, knowing that's going to be a divisive battle, to say the least?
Well, it's important that you don't hide from something because it's not easy. The DACA legislation is critical in terms of the interpretation of who can reside in this country. And if the President can unilaterally decree that these children can stay here, then that's wrong. That will continue unabated. And we need to govern in a constitutional way. We cannot allow the President to govern in a way that allows him to be a monarch. And that essentially is what he seems to be. We're a country that's governed by the rule of law, not by the rule of rulers. And the President needs to understand that.
We've seen terms like extreme and anti-Hispanic being thrown around to some House Republicans on this issue. What do you say to those folks?
I think that the policies we stand for that are pro-growth economy, that creates jobs. You know, this economy today, there's 20 million people who are underemployed or unemployed. That's the worst record you could possibly have. There's nothing that they can tout for people from any walk of life. What's impacted this economy has affected every Hispanic in America. They need jobs, and the people that have been hurt the worst in jobs are the lower income people and the people trying to make it in this country. And that's been the greatest disheartening thing about what the President has done.
What do you think it's done? I mean, is there any hope for something to get done based on this relationship between House Republicans and the President?
Well, the President seems to believe that he can govern unilaterally. That's why, frankly, the House approved a resolution that allowed the Speaker to file this suit against the President. This isn't about parties. This is about our Constitution. This is about protecting our Constitution. The President is one branch of the government. He's not the entire government. He's ruling as though he controls the entire government. He said it himself. if the Congress won't act, I'll act on my own. He doesn't have that privilege as one branch of the government. So there are critical issues involved in terms of how he's chosen to govern. And we cannot allow that to continue. That is why the court matter is so important. The president wants to do policy unilaterally. We're saying to the president, work with us. We have passed 350 bills in the House of Representatives, many of them bipartisan bills, 40 of them job-creating bills, and yet they don't have a hearing in the Senate. Only about 6 bills have passed the Senate. Harry Reid lets them stack up on his desk. The president should be calling Harry Reid to say, Harry Reid, we need to enact legislation for the American people to create jobs, to improve our economy. And we haven't seen that. We can't allow governance unilaterally by a president, at the same time bypass the legislation that's put forth in good faith and good effort, good working relationships inside our Congress, bipartisan, and then send them to the Senate, and then nothing happens. So
that sounds like you're not hopeful something is going to get through then between the President, the Senate, and the House.
Well, I hope that the American people will tell Kay Hagan and tell others to take up this legislation. These are important issues that confront our country. Not just immigration, but education and jobs, things that matter to the lives and families of our country, impacting our state. These are things that's our job. That's what we're there to do. And yet there's a reluctance or a disinterest in the part of the Senate to do their job. Kay Hagan and Harry Reid need to go, and they need to govern. They shouldn't bypass the responsibility. You can count the number of votes they've taken on serious bills on one hand. And one of them happens to be my Kyla Davenport child protection bill. That's one of the very few bills that's passed both houses and been signed by the president. So there's much work to be done. The House has done their job. They'll go back and continue to do their job. We just need the other side of the Capitol to do their job as well, for the president to be engaged with the Congress, not by himself, not acting unilaterally, making decrees, but working with the Congress. Every previous president has done that. You know, President Clinton, he did that with Newt Gingrich. Ronald Reagan did that with Tip O'Neill. They got the job done for the American people. That's the responsibility of President Obama. He needs to come and work with the Congress and not bypass the Congress and bypass the Constitution.
We're almost done with that, but speaking of what you're discussing there, we've heard a lot about this lawsuit. Do you think that is a springboard to trying to impeach the president?
It has nothing to do with impeaching the president. That can be political charades. He said, she said, that's fanfare. No, this has to do with the Constitution, what he's legally able and rightful to do. We are filing suit on him on the health care mandates. He unilaterally changed the law. He changed what was required on these mandates, and he didn't have the right to do that. Why can the president go in there and rewrite a law that was written by Congress and then signed by him?
You know,
he can't do that.
Representative, the Democrats will say that's sort of ironic, considering that Republicans are against the health care law in the first place.
It's irrelevant. It's the principle. The principle is he should be governing the way the Constitution allows. And he's not the entire government. He's one branch of the government.
All right, Congressman Pittenger, a lot of stuff going on. I know you're really busy. I know you're doing a lot of stuff in your district during this recess as well. So thank you so much for a few minutes of your time.